I almost let him in. It was past midnight. Cold. The kind of cold that creeps up under your clothes even inside the house. Boone was asleep on the couch, head on his paws, breathing steady. He twitched when I got up, but didn't lift his head. Then I heard it. 2 long scratches. 3 quick taps. On the back door. Exactly the way Boone scratches when he wants in. I froze in the kitchen. My stomach turned, not with fear, not yet. Just that, wrongness. That internal tilt when the world almost makes sense. Because Boone was already inside. Sleeping. Right behind me. I turned slowly and looked at the door. The curtain was drawn. Thin yellow porch light filtered around the edges. I reached out, hesitated, and peeked through. There was something on the porch. Shaped like Boone. Sized like Boone. But it wasn't Boone. And I swear to God, it was smiling. 3 days earlier. We were doing the same trail we always take. 1/4 mile behind the house, through the scrub pine, along the fence line. Boone loves that stretch. He sprints ahead, always finds some disgusting log to chew or a snowbank to dig into. I let him run. He always comes back. That day was no different, at first. It was still late winter, that slushy part of March where everything's half-frozen mud and crunching ice. I just finished my coffee and let him off leash like always. He bolted ahead, tail high, tongue out. I walked. No rush. Just taking in the air. He barked once. Twice. Then silence. 10 minutes passed. 15. I called him. Whistled. Nothing. Just as I started walking into the trees after him, I saw him. Coming out of the woods at a steady pace. Not running. Not excited. Just walking. Same fur. Same limp in the back leg. Same little white spot on his right ear. But something was off. He didn't bark. Didn't jump. Didn't wag. Just walked right past me and sat at the end of the path, facing the house. Didn't even look back. And that night, he didn't sleep by my bed like always. He sat in the hall, facing the front door, staring. All night. Boone used to bark at everything. Birds. Deer. The mailman. A falling leaf. He wasn't aggressive, just alert. Vocal. Always letting me know the world was still moving out there. I used to complain about it. Now, I missed the sound more than anything. The day after he came back from the woods, he didn't bark once. Not when a delivery guy came to the door. Not when I opened the fridge and dropped a bottle. Not when the neighbor's dog started howling down the block. He just watched. Followed me with his eyes. Not his head. Just the eyes. Sometimes I'd catch him staring at corners. Blank walls. Not in that goofy, dog's daydreaming way, but like he was waiting for something to move. On the second night, I tried throwing his favorite toy. A half-destroyed duck with a broken squeaker he's loved since he was a puppy. Used to go absolutely nuts for it. I tossed it across the living room. He didn't move. Didn't even look at it. He just turned his head slowly toward me, then back to the front door. That night, I left the hall light on. I don't know why. Maybe because I couldn't stand the thought of him sitting there in the dark again. But he didn't sit in the hall. This time, I woke up around 3 a.m. No reason. No noise. Just that cold breath of stillness that settles right before something happens. I got up, walked to the kitchen. Boone was there. Sitting in front of the back door. Completely still. I stood there, barefoot on tile, just watching him. His ears perked slightly, but not toward me. Toward the door. Then, His head tilted. Just slightly. Like he was listening to something outside. And then he growled. Low. I'd never heard that sound from him before. Not like that. Not directed at nothing. I stepped closer. Whispered, Boone. What is it, boy? He didn't react. Didn't blink. The growl faded. And then, from outside, something scratched the door. 2 long drags. 3 quick taps. By the 3rd day, I stopped pretending. Stopped pretending that Boone was just tired, or that he was adjusting, or that maybe I was imagining it. He wasn't the same dog. And the more I watched him, the more I realized, he was watching me too. Not following. Not waiting. Studying. It started small. A twitch in his left eye that used to happen when he was excited, gone. The way he used to tilt his head when I said, "Wanna go out?" Gone. No reaction. Now, when I say his name, he just stares at me. Doesn't blink. Doesn't even tilt his ears. Just locks eyes like he's trying to figure out what that word means. And then, one morning, I noticed something. He never blinked at all. Not when dust hit his eyes. Not when I walked past. Not even when I turned on the ceiling fan, which always used to make him squint. So I tested it. I leaned in close, maybe a foot from his face, and whispered, Boone. Nothing. Just a steady, dry-eyed stare. No emotion. No tension. Just presence. That day, I dug out an old photo album. I was looking for something, anything, that might give me an anchor. Something familiar. Proof that I wasn't losing it. I found a picture of Boone from about 2 years ago. Camping trip. He was soaking wet, sitting by the lake, ears back, tongue out, the goofiest look I'd ever seen. But something caught me. The eyes. I know it sounds impossible, but the Boone in the photo blinked. I mean, mid-blink. Eyes half closed, tongue mid-swing, body relaxed. I stared at that photo for a long time. Then I called him. He came, slowly. Sat beside me. Looked down at the album. And I watched. Watched as his gaze settled on that photo. And for just a second, just one single heartbeat. He smiled. Not wagged. Not panted. Not licked. Smiled. It was in the corners of his mouth. The way the muscles shifted. It wasn't human. It wasn't even canine. It was acknowledgement. That night, I locked the doors. Not to keep anything out. But because I wasn't sure what was already inside. It was the way he stood by the window that made me step outside. He'd been there for almost an hour. Motionless. Ears forward, body stiff, eyes fixed on the tree lean out back. I'd never seen him focus on anything that long. Not even food. At first I thought it was a deer. Maybe a fox. We get plenty of both. But when I stepped up behind him and looked through the glass, there was nothing there. Just trees. Still. Bare. Heavy with late winter frost. But he didn't move. Didn't twitch. Didn't even breathe, as far as I could tell. Eventually, I walked out onto the porch, crunching through patches of old snow, waiting for some rabbit to dart out, prove me wrong. Maybe ease the tight coil starting to wind in my gut. That's when I heard it. A bark. Far off. Muffled. But familiar. I stopped dead. It sounded just like Boone. The real Boone. The tone. The cadence. The slightly uneven pattern he makes when he's excited and trying to say, "Come here, come here." But it came from deep in the woods. Far past the fence line. I turned back toward the house. He was still at the window. watching me, expressionless. I looked back toward the trees. Another bark. Closer this time. Identical. Panic started to creep in, not full-blown yet, but enough to make me feel small in my own skin. I stepped off the porch. Took maybe 5 strides toward the back gate before I realized something. There were tracks. In the snow. Paw prints. Coming from the woods. Same size as Boone's. Same stagger. But there was only one set. Leading from deep in the forest. All the way to the back of my house. And then, not 20 feet away from me, just inside the tree line. I saw him. The Boone I knew. Wet fur. Mud caked on his flanks. Panting. Tail wagging slow. He barked once. High-pitched. Desperate. He took a step forward. And the Boone inside the house growled. Loud. Sharp. Predatory. The kind of sound that makes your body freeze before your brain can process it. I turned around. He wasn't at the window anymore. I didn't go after him. The Boone in the woods. The one that looked right. The one that barked like he used to. I don't know why. Maybe fear. Maybe logic. Maybe some primal instinct that told me not to chase what I couldn't explain. Instead, I backed up. Slow. Made my way to the porch without taking my eyes off the tree line. But Boone was gone. Both of them. The one in the woods had slipped back into the trees. The one that was inside. I didn't see him until I opened the door. He was waiting. Right behind it. Silent. I jumped, nearly fell backward, but he didn't move. Just looked up at me with those dry, steady eyes. I closed the door. And locked it. Then I realized what I'd just done. I'd locked myself in. With the wrong one. I barely slept that night. I left the bedroom door cracked just enough to watch the hallway. I could see the light pooling from the living room. Could hear the faint scratch of claws on wood every so often. Not pacing. Just adjusting. Like he was trying to get comfortable. Around 2:30 a.m., I got up to check. He wasn't on the couch. Not in the kitchen. He was sitting in the laundry room. Facing the dryer. Not moving. Not blinking. Not doing anything. I called his name. Softly. Boone. Nothing. Then. A tap. From the other side of the wall. From the vent behind the dryer. Just one. I stepped closer. The dog didn't turn around. Didn't react. Another tap. Then. 3 sharp scratches. Exactly like the ones I'd heard at the back door. I reached out, fingers trembling, and turned off the laundry light. For a second, everything was black. And in that moment, I saw it. The reflection in the dryer's chrome handle. My dog. The one in the reflection was looking directly at me. But the one sitting in front of it wasn't. I didn't go after him. The Boone in the woods. The one that looked right. The one that barked like he used to. I don't know why. Maybe fear. Maybe logic. Maybe some primal instinct that told me not to chase what I couldn't explain. Instead, I backed up. Slow. Made my way to the porch without taking my eyes off the tree line. But Boone was gone. Both of them. The one in the woods had slipped back into the trees. The one that was inside. I didn't see him until I opened the door. He was waiting. Right behind it. Silent. I jumped, nearly fell backward, but he didn't move. Just looked up at me with those dry, steady eyes. I closed the door. And locked it. Then I realized what I'd just done. I'd locked myself in. With the wrong one. I barely slept that night. I left the bedroom door cracked just enough to watch the hallway. I could see the light pooling from the living room. Could hear the faint scratch of claws on wood every so often. Not pacing. Just adjusting. Like he was trying to get comfortable. Around 2:30 a.m., I got up to check. He wasn't on the couch. Not in the kitchen. He was sitting in the laundry room. Facing the dryer. Not moving. Not blinking. Not doing anything. I called his name. Softly. Boone. Nothing. Then. A tap. From the other side of the wall. From the vent behind the dryer. Just one. I stepped closer. The dog didn't turn around. Didn't react. Another tap. Then. 3 sharp scratches. Exactly like the ones I'd heard at the back door. I reached out, fingers trembling, and turned off the laundry light. For a second, everything was black. And in that moment, I saw it. The reflection in the dryer's chrome handle. My dog. The one in the reflection was looking directly at me. But the one sitting in front of it wasn't. I lock my door at night now. It's a habit I picked up 2 days ago, after I woke up to find him standing at the top of the stairs, staring at my door like he was waiting for me to open it. I hadn't heard him come up. Didn't hear claws on wood. Didn't hear the creak of the second step that always gives him away. He was just there. Silent. Watching. So I started locking the door. Not for him. For me. But this morning, when I woke up, there were paw prints on the floor. Leading from the window to the edge of my bed. No mud. No snow. Just a faint oily residue in the shape of pads and claws, like something had stepped through shadow. I sat up, heart pounding, eyes darting to the door. Still locked. Chain still bolted. I turned toward the window. Closed. Locked. I looked down again. The prints were gone. No. Not gone. Faded. Sinking into the floorboards like old water damage. I didn't move for a long time. Just sat there, in the pale gray light of morning, listening to the house breathe around me. Later that day, I set up my phone in the living room. Propped it behind a stack of books, camera pointed at the hallway. Just to see. That night, I watched him curl up on the rug. Head down. Breathing even. I went upstairs. Locked my door. And waited. Didn't sleep. Around 2:47 a.m., I heard movement. Soft. Steady. The sound of claws on wood. I waited until dawn to check the footage. When I pressed play, my stomach tightened. For hours, nothing happened. Then, at 2:46 a.m., he stood up. But not like a dog. Not with 4 paws. He rose slowly. Vertically. Like something wearing a dog trying to remember how bones worked. The footage cut out. When it resumed, he was back on the floor, curled like nothing had happened. My phone battery was still full. No power interruption. Just missing time. That morning, I found a new scratch on the inside of my bedroom door. Just one. Long. Deep. It happened yesterday. I was out behind the property, just walking. Not looking for anything. Just moving because sitting still in that house felt like giving up ground. The woods were quiet. No birds. No wind. Even the air felt thicker, like breathing through fog. And then, I heard it. A bark. Sharp. Desperate. Familiar. I froze. Then again, another bark. Then whining. The high-pitched kind Boone used to make when he was stuck somewhere. Not fake. Not copied. Real. I ran. Didn't think. Just followed the sound, crashing through brush, ice cracking underfoot, branches slapping my face. My lungs burned. The barking got louder. Closer. And then I saw him. Behind a fallen tree, half buried in mud, trapped by debris, was Boone. The real Boone. His eyes lit up when he saw me. He barked, tail thumping weakly against the ground. He tried to move but whimpered in pain. Something was wrong with his leg. I dropped to my knees. Oh my God. Boone, Jesus, it's really you. I pulled him free. Carried him back. He was light. Too light. Like he hadn't eaten in days. And the moment we stepped back into the clearing near my house, he growled. Low. Sharp. Toward the porch. The door was open. Just a crack. I hadn't left it like that. And inside, it was silent. Boone, my Boone, backed up behind me, hackles raised, tail stiff. Then I heard it. From inside the house. The same bark I just followed through the forest. Perfectly copied. I turned. And there it was. Standing just inside the hallway. Same eyes. Same coat. Same body. But it didn't move like Boone. It didn't stand like him. And it sure as hell didn't smile like him. I stepped back slowly. Shut the door. Locked it. Sat on the porch with Boone in my lap until sunrise. He didn't sleep. Neither did I. This morning, the house is empty. Completely empty. No furniture. No clothes. No dishes. Like it never belonged to me. Like I never lived there. Just a front porch. And a locked door. And the faint sound of claws. Scratching. From the other side.